Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 26 of the Fearless Woman of Faith Speaker Challenge. This is a 28-day challenge to equip and help you become the fearless woman of God that God has called you to become the fearless woman speaker. I'm Lisa Vanderkwaak, the CEO and founder of Speak to Transform Academy, and your host throughout these 28 days. If you're just tuning in today, I want to welcome you and I want to encourage you to go and look over some of the other sessions that you missed. They are still on YouTube, so you can also take them in there under my channel, Lisa V TV, and be able to hear how God is using women, how God is helping women to become the fearless woman speaker that they are called to be. Now, you might be asking me, Lisa, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this 28-day challenge? Well, the first reason is because God told me to do it. God asked me to do it. He invited me to do this. He said, Lisa, will you do it for February 28th, Fearless February, 28 days to help women become and to understand what it means and what it takes to become the fearless woman speaker He's calling you to be. That's first and foremost. I said, yes, God, I'll do it. The second reason is because God is calling His women up higher. He spoke to me a few years ago about He is wanting His women to step into their place in a much greater way, to be the voice of influence in all sectors of society. And here's the thing. You can no longer rely on old paradigms. You can no longer do what was done in the past. We've seen that in our world today in the last couple of years, and you're going to learn more about what it's going to take for you. If you want to advance, if you want to go higher, let me know in the comments if you're saying, yes, I want 2023 be the year that I moved forward, that I advanced into the things of God, into my calling in a much greater way, that I go higher into the levels of influence that God wants me to go. Let me know in the comments, say, yes, that's my desire. That's what I feel like God is speaking to me. And I want you to put yes in the comments. Let me know. So today you're going to hear about what it's going to take. What are some paradigm shifts that you might need to make in order to advance, in order to become the fearless woman speaker that God has called you to be? Are you ready for that? Who's ready to learn a new paradigm that maybe you haven't heard before? You know, in scriptures, it says that you cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. Part of that new wineskin has to be what God is doing in you, the new shifts, the becoming, the container for His presence to fill, but also for Him to operate maybe in new ways through you that you've never done before. So if you're ready for that, then I want you to lean in. So there's no guest speaker today. It's just me. You just got me. Is that all right? Is that all right? We just got me today. I'm really excited because God has had me on a journey over the last 15 more years, more than that, of becoming who God has called me to be. But in this area of using my voice and being a voice of influence, it has been a journey. It's been a process that He's had me on. And He's taken me from being terrified to speak to now training women to speak. Why? Because God's voice is powerful. His word is powerful. And He wants us to be a voice of influence on the earth for His presence to flow. Not just so you can go to heaven, so you can impact your city, your family, your region, your nation. You can be the voice. You can be a voice. And He's given you a message, maybe numerous messages, but He's given you a passion. And how that message gets out is if when you say, yes, God, whatever way you want to use me, and then taking time to invest in developing the skills that He wants that you need to develop in order to move into those places. You know, the parable of the talents, the minas. We often think about those as talents, as something that we're born with, in terms of something that we already possess the excellent qualities of. Those are gifts. Those are things God has given us. Gifts meaning in that passage, actually, it talks about gold bars as being the talent, looking at it from a monetary perspective of multiplying what God has given us. but I believe it's anything he puts in your hand. He gives it to us according to our ability. Doesn't matter if someone else has 5 talents and we just have 1. It's what are you doing with that 1? What are you doing with what God has given you? What are you doing with the message that God has given you? As you begin to share that, as you begin to get it out there, as you begin to learn how to express it in ways that are going to allow you to flow in the authority and the anointing to reach the people or to influence the people that you're meant to, God will add more to you. That's the principle of the kingdom. All right, so let's jump in here. Did you know that there is a law in the universe called the law of advancement? It's called the law of advancement. And I was listening to Myron Golden, who's a Christian businessman, a while ago, and he was talking about this. And I'm like, yes, this is a biblical principle, the law of advancement. And I believe it's something that is really key for you to understand if you want to go to the next level in what God is calling you to become that fearless woman of faith, that fearless speaker that God is calling you to be, to step into that place of influence. You need to understand what this law of advancement is all about. You know, I concur with what Myron was saying one time about, I wish, if I look back at my life and how the journey that God has taken me on, there is one thing that I wish I would have done differently. Would you like to know what that is? Yes, the law of advancement, Fanny, the law of advancement. This is one thing. And again, I heard Myron Golden talk about this, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what I would have done differently. I would have taken action sooner. I wouldn't have wasted my time trying to figure out the very best way to do something or doing multiple things in fear of missing out on something or procrastinating. I would have taken action sooner. I would have got a mentor to help me streamline and hone in on what it is I'm called to do, to invest in that. I would have done it sooner. I wasted a lot of money and a lot of time, like lots of money. But today's a new day. And so I want to share with you some things that will actually help shortcut your success, but also your path to walking in the fulfillment of your purpose. If you are willing to hear and understand, like the scripture says, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. Okay. So here we go. Here's the law of advancement. Let me just pull it up here. I'll get rid of that. The law of advancement is in nature. Now you might be saying, well, there's certain things I look at, but I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. There's lots of laws in the universe. There's like the law of momentum, a law of thermodynamics. Well, in life, there's this law called the law of advancement. I'm going to get my marker here and I'm going to show you on my board here to give you a little bit of a visual as well. And here's what the law is. Isaac Newton says, what goes up must go down. Anything that goes up must first actually go down. That's what the law of advancement is. Anything that goes up must first go down. It has to first go down in order to go up. Put that in the chat. If you want to go up, you must first go down. We see that in the scriptures. Jesus went down into the ground before he rose. What goes up, you must first go down. In order to advance, you must first go down. What does that mean? Well, let me illustrate to you a simple illustration that hopefully you'll understand from nature. So when if you've ever played basketball, for example, what do you do before you shoot the basket? You go down. Your legs go down before you go up. The basketball goes down before you go up, right? The foundation of a building, if you're building a building, first you need to go down into the ground, and the depth of the foundation is commensurate, is in proportion to how high you want to go. We understand that principle, right? If you're going to build a building, you must first dig into the ground before you can go up. An airplane, before an airplane takes off, its wings need to point down before it takes off. Before it goes up, the wings and the nose needs to go down before it goes up. This is a law in our nature. Down always precedes up. Everything that goes up must first go down. Put that in the comments. You must first go down. Go down first. Who's tracking with me? Say, I am. So some of you are afraid of the feeling of downward. And because of that, you'll never allow yourself to rise to new levels because you're afraid of that feeling of downward. So the law of advancement is true in nature. In nature, in what? In nature. So let's have a look at this. Here's the ground. Let's see if you can see this okay. Let me just pull this here. Can you see that okay? Pull it forward. Just pull it forward a bit. So here's the ground right here. I don't know why I drew this right here, but here's the ground. We're not doing a graph. Here's the ground. All right. So this is the ground. Now in nature, what happens is that the ground is here and you put a seed right here. The seed is right here. Do you see that seed? Let me put it in a different color. We'll put it in a different color. We'll put a seed in the red right here. So you can see the red, the seed. So, and every seed has a desire. It's an aspiration deep down inside. You have seeds of desire inside of you. You know what the seed says? The seed says, I want to be a tree. I want to be a tree. No, you don't want to be a tree. Yes, I want to be a tree. Just think. If I was a tree, I'd be able to go really high and feel the wind in my branches and have a place for birds to come. I want to be a tree. You want to be a tree? Yes, I want to be a tree. Do you understand what's going to happen? What's going to have to happen if you want to be a tree? I don't care. I want to be a tree. So here's what happens. Here's the law. What goes up must first go down. Must first go down. So the tree, the seed, must first go into the ground, right? We all know that. It's a downward. It must first go into the ground. This is a seed. This little seed wants to be a big old tree. And in order for it to be a big old tree, it has to first go down. What does the seed need to do if it wants to become this big old tree? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. What do you think the seed has to cease to be in order to become this tree? So it has to grow roots. It has to get nutrients. It has to be nourished. It has to go through the dirt, the darkness, the watering, sprouting, all those things, right? But here's the thing that you need to understand. First and foremost, if this seed is to become a tree, it must first cease meaning stop being a seed. It must first cease being a seed. The seed needs to be willing to cease being a seed because the seed has got to go through this process to become a tree. And part of that process is to cease being a seed. The scriptures talk about unless a seed falls into the ground and dies, it cannot bear fruit. It has to cease being a seed. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you? If you take this and apply it to your life, this means you have to stop being everything you've been in order to become everything you can be. I'm going to say that again. You need to stop being everything you've been in order to become everything you can be. Until you are willing to stop being what you've always been, maybe you've always been fearful, always been overly cautious, analyzing everything, and it's causing you to be stagnant, procrastinating, and all that stuff. Unless you're willing to stop being what you've always been, you'll never be able to become who you were created to become. The seed says, I want to be a tree. And eventually, over many years, sometimes, notice I didn't say 2 weeks later, many years, it begins to break through the ground and it grows to become a tree. Sometimes the process is shorter, but there is a process. The tree has to first go down before it can go up. You see that? The tree has to go down before it can go up. It has to go where? Down. Before it goes where? Up. Who is serious about going up to the heights of your potential? Not playing games. You're serious about going up to the levels of influence that God has for you. Let me know in the comments. Say, I am serious. I want to go up. Put up in the comments. Give me the loudest, biggest caps up emojis if you want, to express that you are serious about going up to the levels of influence to become. You're serious about becoming the fearless woman speaker that God has called you to be. Because it's going to take a choice. It's going to take a decision. Say, yes, I'm willing to go down. I'm willing to go down. Now, let me share with you another example of this in nature. If you think about eagles, my little drawings of eagles. You know, there was once these two eagles, the mama eagle and the papa eagle. Yes, up, up, up. That's it. There's two eagles, and the mama eagle says, hey, we're going to have some baby eaglets. Papa says, yes, we're going to have some baby eaglets. And mama says, you're going to have to build us a nest in a big tree. Okay, we're going to build a nest because we need room. We need room for our little baby eaglets. So they go into build a nest. Over time, the babies, the mother lays these eggs, these little baby eggs, and then sits on it and sits on them and sits on them. And before long, they hatch and they become these little baby eaglets. And these little baby eaglets, they're all covered in fur. They don't have wings yet. They're all covered in fur. And every day, mama goes out and papa goes out and brings back food. And the baby eagle is like, mama, I want to learn how to fly. I want to learn how to fly. She's like, in due time, soon enough, not today. The mama goes out, the big daddy eagle goes out. They bring back food, and little baby eagle say, can we fly today? Can we fly today? Mama says, not today, honey. We're going to do it soon, not today. Well, the day comes when the eagle says, today. Mom said, okay, we're going to learn how to fly today. So the little one gets on her back, on her wings, and she begins to go out and fly. So she goes up higher, and the eagle goes, higher, mama. And they go up higher, they go higher. And the eagle says, go higher. Wow, this is fun. And then all of a sudden, the mama eaglet tilts like this, and the baby eaglet falls off the mama eagle, and it goes flying down. Help me, mama. And just before the eaglet is about to hit the ground, the mama eagle swoops up, gets the eaglet on its back, and flies back to the nest. And the baby's, mama, what did you do? Mama, I'm gonna die. And it was like panicking. And then the next day, Mama Eagle comes with, okay, you ready to fly? No, Mama, I didn't want to do that. That was scary. I don't want to do that, Mama. It was scary. Well, it's okay. Get on my back. Okay, Mama. Gets on the back again, goes out again. And day after day, this happens where the eaglet has to be dropped until one day when the eaglet is dropped, and you know what I'm going to say, right? All of a sudden, the eaglet begins to flap its wings. Mama, I'm flying, Mama, I'm flying. And before long, this little baby eaglet is soaring and going up to heights that only he saw his mama and papa do. This is the law of advancement. What did the eagle have to do first? The eaglet had to go down first. It actually had to go down before it went up. It actually had to learn. It had to go down before it went up. This is all in nature. But here's the thing that is interesting. The culture that we live in has lied to you, has lied to me, has lied to you, and told us, it's like this hypnotic societal mechanism, has programmed you to believe that your whole life, that you can go up without going down. You want your income to go up, but you're not willing to invest in yourself. You're not willing to invest in things to develop your skills or to advance your career, for example. You want to get booked to speak, but you want to invest in becoming the speaker. You want to invest in becoming bad at speaking first before you get better. Let me just say that. I'm not saying invest in getting bad. You won't allow yourself to do it messy before you actually able to do it well or with confidence. You're not willing to allow yourself to be shaky doing it before you get stellar at doing it. Our society has programmed us to believe your whole life that you cannot go up without going down. Your whole life that you can go up, that you can go up without going down, that you don't have to go down. And so when you are in that place and it feels scary, you're out of your comfort zone, you feel like you're down, some people give up. They give up. Oh, this can't be good. Or they don't see the process that needs to happen in order for you to get to the next level. Now, the best thing I ever did in my life was to get in the room in terms of the path that God had me on in my business. The best thing I ever did was to get in the room with people who were doing what I wanted to do and who had skills that I needed to learn, who could teach me, who could coach me, who could give me feedback. So I could eventually advance and go higher to where God was calling me to be. I had to humble myself to learn, to be open, to learn new ways, to learn new skills, to have new paradigms and not rely on old paradigms in order to get to the next level. Sometimes there's a bit of dissonance that happens in that because we're trying to reconcile the old with the new. Most often we just got to let that go aside and embrace the new so that God can do that new thing in us to help us become who He's called us to be. I'm not saying we can never take anything from the past. We can, but we have to recognize the things that might be holding us back because we're clinging to something. We realize I need to cease being that or doing that in order to go up. I need to cease. There's some things sometimes I need to cease doing in order to start doing and becoming who God has called me to be. This is a paradox that we have to really embrace and understand. There's a process. Let me know in the comments what's coming up for you as you hear this. Are there things that you know what, I need to cease doing this, or I need to cease being fearful. I need to cease being so analytical where it's holding me back. I need to cease being a loner in order for me. I need to cease retreating in order for God to help me to become, in order to become who God has called me to be. Going up. Yes, going up. Why am I telling you this? Because this is a really important for you if you want to advance in becoming who God has called you to be the speaker, the fearless woman speaker. I went from being terrified to speak. I had to let go of my mindset, my paradigms of believing about what it meant to use my voice, what it meant to be able to communicate a message, what it meant to be able to be a woman and speak in certain arenas, to teach. I had to learn how to let go of old paradigms, old ways of thinking, and embrace the new in order to become who God has called me to be. And I'm still doing that today. Even this last year, I've had to let go of some old paradigms and embrace what God is doing so that I can become fully who He's called me to be and be the speaker and the voice of influence He's called me to be. And that is the same for you. So here's the question you have to ask yourself. And before I ask you that question, is like in life, Don't get it twisted. It's called the easy, hard paradox. Easy on the front end, always. When everybody talks to me, always, always easy equals hard on the back end, and hard on the front end, always. When it's easy on the front end, it's usually hard on the back end. When it's harder, when I say harder, I mean, it's going to require you to step out of your comfort zone. It's going to be uncomfortable. Maybe that's a better word, awkward or uncomfortable on the front end. It's easier on the back end. Sometimes there's a process of cease to become, and this is awkward. This is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. But I guarantee you, if you're willing to embrace the process, one of my guests, actually yesterday, she talked about, going from, you have to be awkward before you can be elegant. It has to be awkward before you can be elegant. Are you willing to be awkward before you are elegant as a speaker? So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to do some uncomfortable stuff for 6, 12 months so that you can spend the rest of your life living and operating in who God has called you to be and building the life that you dream of and that God has called you to being the voice of influence? Are you willing to be uncomfortable and to cease doing some things and invest in the process of 6, 12 months, whatever it might be, so that you can spend the rest of your life living out the dream that God has put on your heart? Are you willing? Are you going to let yourself off the hook one more time and spend the rest of your life wishing you had? Sometimes we let ourselves off the hook, say, oh, well, it's because this, my kids did this, or I don't have this, or I don't have this. We make all the excuses. We let ourselves off the hook. So I want to challenge you. This is a challenge, isn't it? 28-day challenge. I know why you're here, because you want to be the fearless woman of faith speaker that God has called you to. So you need to make a covenant with yourself and decide, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to die trying to do it. It's like not giving up. Don't let yourself off the hook. Let me know in the comments if that's you. If that's you, there's no going back. There's no going back. I'm in this for the long haul. Yes. That's right. You have to die. That seed has to die. Sometimes the old ways of doing things. And so I shared with you a few days ago an opportunity for you. If you are at this place where you're like, yes, Lisa, I need to allow God to bring me through a process, and I'm willing to invest in those things. So I know some of you on this are already registered for the Radiant Speaker Academy, but I want to give you an opportunity, if you haven't, to register for the Radiant Speaker Academy, which is part of the Girl Power Alliance VIP membership. This is an opportunity for you to learn and to allow God to bring you to a place where you learn, you invest your time, your energy, your money into learning some things, being watered, being nurtured, being transformed, maybe putting aside mindsets, causing some mindsets to die in order to adopt new ones so that you can become the speaker that God has called you to be and be the voice of influence, impacting the people around you wherever God has you. If that's you, I want to invite you to register before February 28th, or by February 28th, I should say. You can just put RSA, Radiant Speaker Academy, RSA in the comments, and I'll reach out to you. But this, let me just go through this quickly. This is a $4,500 course on its own to certify you as a Radiant Speaker Academy, a Kingdom Woman Speaker. But you don't have to pay the $4,500, because I have partnered with the Girl Power Alliance corporate to bring it into, and it's now a part of their VIP membership. And together we have put together this proprietary system to help you learn how to give your very own kingdom impact talk in 10 minutes. It could be a business talk. It could be a talk in any arena, but it's being you're being trained in a culture, in a community that is kingdom minded. Because wherever you are in the world, God wants you to be a kingdom influence. Doesn't mean you have to quote scripture, but if the Spirit of God is in you, he wants his presence to flow through you. So you're going to get training from myself, a certified speaking coach for over 15 years. I've got 25 years of speaking experience, plus Molly Trotter Gomez is a former anchor woman, and Michelle Schaefer is a multi-six-figure earner in business, and combined we have over 60 years speaking experience. So you're going to get training. We all have different personalities and different styles, but we've put together a proprietary way for you to up-level your skills, your reach, and your influence and become a radiant speaker. It's a 9-week live virtual training. You have the opportunity to become certified then as a kingdom speaker, be on a virtual stage, be coached by us as you give your message, as well as be professionally video recorded in your finished product so that you can have a video to use as a promotion to get speaking gigs, to promote yourself as a speaker, a great marketing piece. This alone is worth $5,000 just for that video, like to get professional video. Crazy. So as I said, you can invest $4,500 if you want. It is retailing for that if you're a non-member, or you can become a member, a VIP member of Girl Power Alliance, and get not only the training to become a radiant speaker, but also a bunch of other training to be a radiant leader. You can become a certified biblical life and leadership coach if you want. There's like over 200 on-demand trainings. There's monthly coaching. There's a mastermind coaching. There's so much more in it. There's no contracts with the membership, but there's so much more content, but also reward that you get. There's also a whole speaker series that is in addition to the Radiant Speaker Academy. There's courses, on-demand courses like the Confident Speaker, Signature Soundbite Method, Present Like a Pro, on-camera confidence if you want to build an on-camera presence and show up looking and sounding confident, and other ones that you can engage in as a VIP member. Really, what's in there now, and it's growing every month, there's over $30,000 worth of value that you have access to as a VIP member. And this is one of the reasons why I partnered with Girl Power Alliance, because we are leveraging the expertise of multiple variety of women in the kingdom who are gifted in different ways. And you can too, leveraging and working together. So you can get started today for $3.99, and then 30 days later, $149.99 every month for as long as you want to maintain your membership, But to be enrolled in the Radiant Speaker Academy, you need to come as a VIP member if you want it for this investment price. So it's putting yourself in a place where you are saying, I need to learn some things to up-level my skills, or to get started, or to build confidence, credibility, whatever it is, so that I can be used as a speaker in whatever arena God calls me. I can be ready. I'll not be holding myself back, letting myself off the hook because I say, well, I don't have a message, or I'm not confident enough. Well, here's your opportunity to get ready. So that when opportunities come, you are ready. So let me know in the comments if this is you. Put RSA and tag me so that I can follow up with you and give you that link. And I know some of you on this call are already in it, and I'm looking forward to working with you. But why am I telling you this? Because I am on a mission to see God. God spoke to me a couple of years ago that he's raising up his women on the globe. He's wanting to equip and empower his daughters to become voices of influence, positive and powerful voices of influence in every sector of society. I'm not just talking about in the church. In the church, when we talk about the church, that's our equipping place. That's one of the places we get equipped to go out into the world. Whether you have a business or a ministry, or as one of my friends call them, a business tree, where you've got a combination because your business is your ministry. God wants to use you as his voice to bring about transformation in your community, in your region, in your nation, in your workplace, to bring solutions Now more than ever, God is needing you to be ready to be used of him. And we cannot rely on old paradigms. The world has shifted, and the wineskin needs to be created for us to operate and advance the kingdom of heaven on the earth. And speaking, using our voice is a huge part of that, being an expression of God on the earth. So if you are here today, but maybe you know someone who would benefit from this, and you know that, you know what, they need to take this training, reach out to them. Reach out to them. And those who are already members of GPA, I encourage you, reach out to them. Get them in this training. Because what I'm also going to be doing for those who enroll by February 28th is send out a copy of my book. Let me just see if I've got a copy here to show you. So those who are in GPA already, you can extend this. I'll extend this to you, the people that you invite as well. Here it is here. It's one of my best sellers. It's 52 speaking tips for women to build confidence, clarity, and influence. They get a copy of this book sent to them if they register for the Radiant Speaker Academy, become a VIP member and register by February 28th. So I'll extend that to you as well. So ladies, tomorrow we have another guest and then another guest. So we've got 2 more days, ladies. Thank you for being with us this time. Thank you for showing up and gleaning and saying, God, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to become fearless? How do you want me to be fearless today? And only you know that. But here's the thing, the goal is to be walking in the fullness of God, no matter where you are. And that includes being fearless, because the fullness of God is that he's given you a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. When you operate in that fullness, there is no fear. Fear has no place in you. Isn't that powerful? Thank you for being with me today. Have a beautiful Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow when we have another guest. You are not going to want to miss tomorrow. Tomorrow is all about being fearless. Now, what is it? Let me just go back here. It's being fearless in spite of loss. You're going to want to hear Brooke's story and how to overcome and how to be fearless when faced with loss of any kind. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed and walk in the fullness of what God has called you today in every capacity, because you are called to be a fearless woman of faith. So go out and be fearless.